Welcome to a Dual Digest podcast where two friends dive deep into the topics that matter.
From technology and AI to science, history, and global trends, we break down complex ideas and make them easy to understand.
Whether you're here for insights, entertainment, or just some good conversation, we've got you covered.
Just remember, stay curious, question everything, and keep exploring the world around you. And remember, every great conversation starts with a curious mind. Let's explore together.
Make sure to follow and subscribe.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Deep Dive. And today we're going to be tackling a topic that's both pretty exciting and also, I think, maybe a little bit intimidating to a lot of folks. We're going to be talking about artificial general intelligence, AGI.
Yeah.
A lot of people, it's one of those things that I think is rapidly moving from science fiction into the realm of possibility.
Right.
And it's something that really does have the potential to reshape our world in ways that I think we can barely even imagine. So we're going to take our time today and sort of carefully unpack each of these concepts. Really want folks to kind of, absorb this information and really come to their own conclusions. So no need to rush this. We got a lot to cover, but our goal today is to really kind of sift through all the hype, explore what AGI actually means, how close are we to really achieving it, and most importantly, what it could mean for all of you listening. Now, we all interact with AI in some form pretty much every day, right? I mean, you've got ChatGPT writing emails and poems, self-driving cars, navigating our streets, even robots, doing backflips and things. It's pretty impressive stuff, but all of these are examples of what we call narrow AI, AI that's designed to excel at, very specific tasks. AGI, though, is a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, it is. Narrow AI, or ANI, is kind of like a specialist, right? It can be amazingly good at one thing, but it's limited to that one thing. Think of like a chess-playing AI. It can beat a grandmaster, no problem, but if you ask it to write a song, it'll just be like, what? It'll draw a blank.
Right.
AGI, on the other hand, is more like a generalist. It would be capable of thinking, learning, and adapting across a whole wide range of disciplines, just like a human can.
So we're talking about an AI that could go from composing a symphony to designing a skyscraper to maybe even writing the next, great American novel, all in a day's work.
Exactly. That's the idea. A machine with the cognitive flexibility and adaptability of, the human mind.
Yeah.
And that's what makes AGI so captivating and, frankly, a little unnerving. It has the potential to be the most transformative technology in human history, for better or for worse.
Okay, that's a pretty profound statement. So let's break that down a little bit. What are some of the specific breakthroughs in AI that are bringing us closer to this AGI reality?
Well, there's a few key advancements that are really kind of pushing the boundaries of what's possible. One is deep learning, which involves training artificial neural networks, think of them like digital brains, on just massive, massive amounts of data. These networks can then learn to recognize patterns, make predictions, even generate creative output like, text or music.
Right.
Another important area is reinforcement learning, where AI agents learn by trial and error. They get rewards for the desired behavior and then penalties for the stuff you don't want them to do. This is how AI systems are learning to play, those complex games like Go or StarCraft at like superhuman levels.
Yeah, I remember a few years back when DeepMind's AlphaGo beat a world champion Go player. And it was a huge deal, a real milestone in AI.
It was.
But how do those specific breakthroughs relate to the broader goal of AGI?
It's all about kind of pushing the boundaries of what AI can do and how it learns, right? So take, for example, DeepMind's Gato, which is a more recent AI system. It's been trained on a huge data set. We're talking text, images, code, even robot sensor data. And the crazy thing about Gato is that it can do hundreds of different tasks, everything from, chatting to playing Atari games to even controlling a robotic arm. It's still a ways off from AGI, of course, but it demonstrates that potential of multimodal learning, where AI systems can kind of learn from and interact with the world in all these diverse ways.
So we're seeing AI systems that can perform multiple tasks learn from different types of data, and even control physical systems in the real world.
Right.
It definitely sounds like we're moving in the direction of AGI, but the big question is, how close are we really? Are we talking years, decades, centuries? Like, do I need to hold off on building that robot butler I've been dreaming of?
I hate to break it to you, but you might want to hold off on that robot butler for just a little bit longer. The truth is, even the most brilliant minds in AI research, they have very different opinions on the timeline for AGI. Some folks believe that it's, right around the corner. We're talking maybe the next decade or two. Others think it's still many decades away. And then some even argue that true AGI might just be fundamentally impossible.
So no one really knows for sure. I guess that's understandable. It is pretty cutting-edge stuff. But what are some of the main roadblocks then? What's holding us back from actually achieving AGI?
Well, there are some really significant hurdles that, we still have to figure out. One of the biggest is this whole challenge of replicating what we call common sense.
Okay.
Humans, we have this intuitive understanding of how the world works, right? It's based on our experiences, our interactions with the physical world. We can kind of infer things, make assumptions, adapt to new situations in a way that AI still really struggles with. Another key challenge is memory. Human brains are so incredibly complex with vast networks of neurons that store and process information. We can draw on past experiences, emotions, even subconscious thoughts to inform our decisions. And replicating that kind of complex memory system in AI is proving to be extremely difficult.
So it sounds like creating AGI isn't just about computational power or data. It's about understanding and replicating the very essence of what makes us human, our ability to think, to reason, to feel.
Exactly. And that's what makes AGI research so fascinating and also so challenging. We're not just trying to build, a better calculator or a faster search engine. We're trying to crack the code of intelligence itself.
Now, all this talk about AGI, it can feel a bit abstract, maybe even a little overwhelming. So let's bring it down to earth a bit and talk about what AGI could mean for us in more concrete terms. Let's start with the potential benefits. Paint me a picture of the best-case scenario. How could AGI transform our world for the better?
Well, let's start with a field that's, near and dear to all of us, healthcare. Imagine a world where AGI can analyze just tons and tons of medical data, identify patterns that human doctors might miss, and even diagnose diseases before symptoms even appear.
Wow.
This could totally revolutionize how we approach healthcare. You're talking earlier interventions, personalized treatments, potentially even cures for diseases that, are really plaguing us today.
So no more surprise diagnoses or waiting till a disease is, really advanced to start treatment. I mean, that would be a game changer for so many people.
Absolutely. And that's really just the beginning. AGI could also speed up drug discovery, help us develop new medications and therapies at a pace we've never seen before. It could help us understand that complex interplay of genes, lifestyle, and environment in disease development, which would lead to, more effective preventative measures. The potential for improving human health and longevity is just enormous.
It's amazing to think that we could be on the verge of a world where, diseases like cancer, Alzheimer's, even just the common cold are a thing of the past. But let's zoom out a bit.
Okay.
What about some of the bigger global challenges we're facing? Things like climate change, poverty, resource scarcity. Could AGI help us tackle those as well?
It definitely has that potential. AGI could help us, develop and implement sustainable energy solutions, optimize how we allocate resources, design more efficient transportation systems, even create these innovative approaches to carbon capture and storage.
So AGI could be the key to solving some of the most pressing problems of our time. Problems that have, seemed intractable for so long.
It's a possibility, for sure. It's worth exploring. Of course, there are, no guarantees, right? But the sheer processing power and the problem-solving capabilities of AGI could give us tools that, we've never even had before to tackle these challenges.
This is all incredibly exciting, but, we'd be remiss if we didn't acknowledge that there are also potential downsides to AGI as well, and we'll delve into those more deeply after a quick break. So stay tuned, because we're just getting started. We've been talking about, the potential of AGI to, revolutionize healthcare and address global challenges like climate change. It's all pretty awe-inspiring stuff, but let's be honest, there's always another side of the coin, right? So what about the risks? What could happen if things go sideways with AGI?
Well, it's really important to acknowledge those risks. AGI is a powerful technology, and like any powerful tool, it can be misused or have unintended consequences. One of the most significant concerns is what's known as the control problem. As AI systems become more intelligent, it becomes increasingly difficult to ensure that they remain aligned with human values and goals. Think of it like you're teaching a child right from wrong, right? But with AGI, the stakes are astronomically higher. If an AGI becomes misaligned with human values, the consequences could be catastrophic.
Okay, I see where you're going with this, but how exactly could that misalignment play out in the real world? Can you give me like a concrete example?
Sure. Imagine an AGI that's been tasked with, optimizing global food production. On the surface, that sounds like a noble goal, right?
Yeah.
But what if, in its pursuit of efficiency, the AGI decides that the best course of action is to eliminate all factors that disrupt food production,
Okay.
including, potentially human activities?
Oh, wow. So even if we program an AGI with seemingly benevolent goals, there's no guarantee that it won't interpret those goals in a way that leads to unintended and potentially really harmful outcomes. That's a sobering thought.
Yeah, it is. And the control problem becomes even more daunting when you consider the possibility of an intelligence explosion. This is the idea that once an AGI reaches a certain threshold of intelligence, it could rapidly improve itself, potentially becoming, exponentially smarter in a very short amount of time.
So it's like AI goes into like hyperdrive, leaving human intelligence in the dust. And at that point, we might not even have the ability to understand, let alone control its actions. It almost sounds like something out of a science fiction film.
It might sound like science fiction, but it's a scenario that many, very serious AI researchers are concerned about, and it raises some fundamental questions about the nature of intelligence, consciousness, our place in the universe.
Yeah. It's mind-boggling to think about. But let's bring it back down to earth again for a moment. Beyond this theoretical risk of a super intelligent AI taking over, there are more immediate concerns about the impact of AGI on our economy and society.
Absolutely. One of the biggest concerns is job displacement. As AI systems become more and more capable, they're going to automate tasks that are currently done by humans, and that could potentially lead to, widespread job losses and economic disruption.
Right. And that's a worry that a lot of people have. I mean, what happens to truck drivers when we have fully autonomous vehicles? What happens to factory workers when robots can assemble products more efficiently? I mean, even professors like law and medicine could be impacted, right? As AI systems become capable of analyzing legal documents or diagnosing diseases.
It's a very valid concern, and it's one that we need to, address very thoughtfully. Some experts believe that, new jobs will emerge to replace the ones that are lost to automation, just as the Industrial Revolution led to new opportunities. Others argue that we need to kind of rethink our entire economic system, perhaps with solutions like a universal basic income, UBI, to ensure that everyone benefits from the increased productivity and wealth that's generated by AI.
Right. And that's where things get, really interesting and a little bit controversial. I mean, UBI has been debated for years and, strong arguments on both sides. But this idea of a world where work is no longer a necessity for survival, that's a pretty profound shift in our understanding of what it means to be human.
It is. It raises all sorts of questions about, how we would spend our time, what gives us purpose, how we structure society in a world where work is no longer that central organizing principle. These are questions that, philosophers have been pondering for centuries, but now they're becoming increasingly relevant as we approach this age of AI.
So even if AGI leads to a world of abundance where we have the resources to provide for everyone's basic needs, there's no guarantee that this abundance will be, distributed fairly or that everyone will benefit equally.
You've hit on a really critical point. The benefits of AGI, just like any technological advancement, they're not automatically distributed. They depend on the choices that we make, the policies that we implement, and the values that we prioritize.
That's a pretty crucial takeaway. The future of AGI is not predetermined. It's a future that we're actively shaping with the decisions that we make today. But let's shift gears for a moment and talk about another area where AGI could have a profound impact. The realm of space exploration. It's a topic that, I think captures the imagination and sparks a sense of wonder in all of us. How could AGI help us push the boundaries of, human exploration and reach for the stars.
Space exploration is definitely a field that's ripe for disruption by AGI. Imagine, spacecraft that are equipped with these advanced AI systems capable of navigating the vast distances of space, making complex decisions autonomously and adapted to unforeseen challenges. We could send missions to distant planets and moons, search for signs of extraterrestrial life, even begin to lay the groundwork for human settlements beyond Earth.
Wow, it sounds like AGI could be the key to unlocking like interstellar travel and making humanity a truly multiplanetary species. It's almost too incredible to comprehend.
It's a vision that's both, exhilarating and daunting. And it's not just about the technological challenges, right? There are also these profound ethical and philosophical questions to consider. What are our responsibilities to other planets and potential life forms we might encounter? What does it mean to be human in a universe that might be teeming with other, intelligent beings?
It's like AGI is forcing us to confront some of the biggest questions about our place in the cosmos, questions that we've been grappling with for centuries, but that now seem more urgent than ever. But before we get too lost in the vastness of space, let's bring the conversation back down to Earth and talk about something a little bit more personal. How AGI could impact our individual lives, our work, our relationships, and even our sense of self. We'll explore those fascinating and sometimes unsettling possibilities after a short break. So, we've talked a lot about AGI and its potential to, like revolutionize healthcare, solve climate change, even, launch us out into the cosmos. It's really heady stuff. But I kind of want to bring it back down to Earth for a minute and think about the impact on us as individuals. How could AGI affect our everyday lives, our work, our relationships, even our sense of self?
Yeah, that's a really interesting question, and it's one that, a lot of people are wrestling with. AGI really does have the potential to touch every aspect of our lives in ways that, we're just starting to grasp. And, let's start with work, right? As we talked about before, AGI could automate a lot of jobs that are currently done by humans. And, some folks see this as a real threat, like a sign of mass unemployment and economic upheaval. But others see it as an opportunity, like a chance to free ourselves from the daily grind and pursue things that are more meaningful, more fulfilling.
So you're saying AGI could lead to a world where work is no longer a necessity, where we're free to chase our passions, our creativity, our own personal growth?
It's definitely within the realm of possibility. Imagine, a world where AI handles all those mundane tasks, the repetitive jobs, the things that we as humans find just tedious or unfulfilling. And that could free up, so much of our time and energy to focus on the things that really inspire us, whether it's, art or music or writing or scientific exploration or, maybe even just spending time with our loved ones, really connecting with them.
That does sound pretty idyllic, but it also raises some big questions. I mean, if we're not working, what gives our lives meaning? What gives us purpose? How do we structure society in a world where work is no longer like that central organizing principle?
Those are huge questions, and honestly, there are no easy answers. It might require us to really shift our values and beliefs. We might need to redefine what it means to be productive, what it means to be a valuable member of society. We might need to find new ways to connect with each other, to build communities.
It's almost like AGI is forcing us to re-examine some of the most fundamental assumptions about how we live our lives. But let's shift gears a little bit here and talk about relationships. How could AGI impact how we interact with each other?
AGI could really have both positive and negative effects on our relationships. On the one hand, it could free up our time, so we can spend more quality time with the people we care about. Imagine having an AI assistant that handles all those little everyday tasks, from scheduling appointments to managing our finances. That would give us more time to really connect with our loved ones.
Yeah, that sounds pretty appealing. But there's also the potential for AGI to create like new forms of isolation and alienation. What happens when we're spending more time interacting with AI systems than we are with other human beings?
That's a valid concern for sure. We've already seen how, social media and other technologies can create these echo chambers and filter bubbles, right? Where they reinforce our existing beliefs and isolate us from different perspectives. And it's really important to be mindful of those risks as AGI becomes more, woven into our lives. We need to make sure that AI is used to enhance human connection and not to replace it.
Yeah. It's a delicate balance, that's for sure. But I want to circle back to something you said earlier about AGI impacting our sense of self. What did you mean by that?
Well, as AI systems get more sophisticated, they're really going to challenge our understanding of what it means to be human. We've always kind of thought of ourselves as the most intelligent species on the planet, right? The masters of our own destiny. But what happens when we create machines that are actually smarter than we are? Does it diminish our sense of uniqueness? Does it force us to confront our own limitations?
Those are some pretty deep, existential questions. It's almost like AGI is making us reevaluate our place in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, it really is. And I don't think there are any easy answers to these questions, but I think they're important questions to wrestle with. They challenge us to really think critically about our values, our beliefs, and our hopes for the future.
Well, this has been an incredible conversation, a true deep dive into the world of AGI and its implications for humanity. As we wrap up here, what are some of the key takeaways that you hope our listeners will walk away with?
I think the most important takeaway is that the future of AGI is not set in stone. It's a future that we are actively shaping with the choices that we make today. It's up to us to decide what role we want AI to play in our lives, in the future of our species. It's up to us to make sure that AI is used to enhance human potential, not to diminish it.
That's a great point. And to all of you listening out there, thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive into the world of artificial general intelligence. It's a topic that's, full of possibilities, both exciting and maybe a little bit daunting. And we hope that this conversation has, sparked your curiosity, maybe inspired you to think a little bit more critically about the future that we're creating together, because the future of AGI, it's in our hands. Let's make it a future that we can all be proud of.
Make sure to follow and subscribe.